Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I am pretty much recovered from my week in Ottawa, which was
Oh boy.
really
Yeah.
productive, but
Good.
also really tiring.
Yeah.
Travel was hard.
Those trips are never as you think, oh, it's a nice holiday or something. They never are they?
Well,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
always
definitely a working holiday.
yeah, yeah. Ottawa's a nice city though. I like
Yeah,
Ottawa.
yeah, yeah, it is. I've been there numerous times. I'm
Hmm.
quite comfortable. I know my way around that little section downtown
Yeah,
around the government, you know,
yeah.
quadrant.
We used to when I was in high school, we used to have a lot of track races there. I
Oh,
grew up south of there, so we used to go up to that area and
uh-huh.
Kingston and Ottawa and
Yeah,
everything else sort of stuff. So yeah, nice area.
it is.
Hi there.
What?
It's Richard Allen checking in.
Hey, Richard.
Hi. Richard.
Hi, Scott Kipke checking in.
Good. Hi, Scott.
Hi.
Casey Law checking in.
Fantastic. Looks like we might have quorum.
The phone number is 7737. That would be Hank Hastings.
That's correct. I'm here. I think we've got 5.
We do have a quorum, and it's 7:02. You can start the meeting, eh?
Okay. All righty. So, do you want to do the roll call then? Is somebody there to do roll call, Pearl?
Yeah.
Or
Sure.
Yep, Pearl's here.
I sure can.
Okay.
Thank you. Director Popoff,
I am present.
Director Main,
Yes, I'm still here.
Director Casely, Director Lunn, Commissioner Allen,
Yeah, present.
Commissioner McRae, Commissioner Hankins,
I'm present.
Hastings, sorry. Commissioner Law,
Present.
Commissioner Coolan,
I'm present.
Commissioner Reitmeyer, Commissioner Schwartz, and Commissioner Kipke.
Present.
Thank you.
Very good. I will call the meeting to order at 7:03, maybe. We acknowledge and respect the indigenous peoples within whose traditional lands we are meeting today. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Sure, I move. Alan here.
Richard moved in a second.
Mike Coolen second.
Thank you, Mike. The agenda for the November 6, 25 Rosebery Parklands and Trail Commission meeting be adopted as circulated and carried. Any negative votes? Do I hear? If not, I'll assume it's carried then. And receipt of the minutes from the August 28th meeting have been received. And there are no delegates scheduled for this meeting. Is there any public here today? I hear of no public. So I guess we'll move on to the staff reports. Jeff, are you Carrie? Are you here today, or?
I'm here.
Jeff's here.
I can start, Chair. Carrie will probably jump in.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Just turning my volume up here. Sorry. Yeah, hi everyone. We had, as Carrie mentioned, or we had talk. I'm sure everyone knows the bridge was put in. But yeah, other than that, we've had one of the more productive falls, I'd say, on the trail. I'm sure some of you have already seen the work that's been happening, but the chicane that was identified as a need at the top of the cable car from the Three Forks end, that was completed now to give everybody a time to reconsider dropping down into that part of the road with those aggressive cross ditches. And then the three pinch points that were identified some time ago have now been dealt with, whether the trail's been widened or railings added. I guess I should say they haven't necessarily been fully dealt with, but they're either dealt with or in the works. The railing on the old cribbing of the reroute, that was done. However, while we were doing the work, was able to observe how the trail users use that area. And what we've identified is some additional cribbing will be required to widen out the west side of that the cribbing, that existing cribbing. So that's stuff that's going to happen next week. So we're happy to see those things behind us. The slough 2. So we've dealt with slough 3 and 4 now with the aluminum bridges. Slough 2, the one to the east of the bridges, we've modified the trail to use some of the existing ground that's there, so that hopefully we can defer ever needing a bridge in that location because of the amount of land that's available there. So we've made some modifications to the area around there, and also on the books for the hopefully accomplished for the end of the year is down at the Parklands is put an eaves trough on the outhouse. We've had to do this at Sunshine Bay, and not all of the parks that we have that outhouse design has needed that, but we have noticed that Parklands does need that. So we do know we've had it successfully completed at Sunshine Bay, so we are aware of what's needed, the bill of materials and all that things, so that those parts and pieces will be ordered, and that was kind of one of the items on the work task program to be completed for the rest of the fall. We're not that far along from winterizing the cable car. That will likely be within the next week or so. I'd imagine we're sort of on borrowed time for that area for getting snow. So certainly we'd like to finish that before that job gets more difficult. Like I say, I've been very happy with what we've been able to accomplish here this year, and especially here late in the fall. It's been quite nice to see these things getting knocked off. So I'm proud of the work that's being done, I'm liking the momentum we're getting here. So I don't know if anyone has any questions related to that.
So Jeff, the winterizing of the cable car is shutting it down for the winter. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So it's not designed for the snow load. It's not designed to carry snow. Like if the cart got covered, filled with snow, the cable isn't sort of designed for that weight. So we need to actually pull it up on the platform, brace it up so that that the weight's not bearing on the cable. So we have a bunch of timbers in the area that we've used in the past. So it can fill with snow, but the weight's pushing down, it's bearing on timbers. We lock it. We have taken the rope. Sometimes we take the rope, sometimes we don't. That's not necessarily a security thing. That's just the maintenance for the rope, the actual rope itself. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Jeff, I have Chair Hastings here. I have a question about the new bridges, which are very good, very nice. There's some steel cables attached to them and going up to some trees above the slope. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Is that some? What is that?
That's kind of those are there just for a worst case scenario, actually, Hank. Say we did end up losing some of the ground that it bears on. We would the bridge would wouldn't slide down into the creek. So they're just a little bit a little bit of protection, wearing the belts and the suspenders, I guess you could say, just in case. We never know, and it's just a minor cost that could alleviate a lot of problems if worse came to worse and we had a freshet event and it slid into the creek. We'd have a lot harder of a time fishing it out of there than if it was just dangling a little bit down. So let's hope those things never have to be called into the work that they're there for. But yeah, it's just a what if.
Yeah, just a little insurance.
That's okay. Right. Yeah, and I think I think I mentioned this last time. Like the trees above the bridge that are clearly in the slump zone, like the area of the ground that's slumping, but hasn't quite sloughed yet. We've gone and knocked all those trees down for that exact reason. So if the slump turned into a slough and the trees came down, those timbers would take the bridge out. The stumps that are there now would just kind of flow like the mud, like it just liquefied mud, just flow underneath. So there's another sort of, what if kind of situation that we've sort of, it's just kind of a risk management thing.
Thank you. Any more questions for Jeff?
Director Main here. Not a question. I just want to say that I really appreciate the depth of thought that has gone into the bridging with the risk management of the upslope cables and removing those upslope trees. It's I'm glad that it's reached the planning has reached that depth of protection. So thank you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the feedback. Certainly, we recognize the effort that got to this, and we don't want to redo it again. So that's how we're motivated, really. How do we avoid this in the future?
And through the chair, sorry, sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You did it properly.
Oh, I was just going to say through the chair, just to, if anyone didn't know, so that bridge that we just put in was 85 feet long. So it's hard to lift the bridge that's, in one piece that long. So we had to have it built in two pieces and delivered in two pieces, and then brought. We did have a little bit of a hiccup when high train showed up to lift it. We had the weight, we knew what it was, and it was each piece was a little bit less than the original or the other bridges, and it was. So high train showed up, and they basically said to us that they can't lift the bridge. It was too heavy, according to their sort of torque meter and things like that. So it worked out that at that point we sort of had to make a decision. So we actually had to have a bigger helicopter come in and lift the bridge over there and place it. So that was certainly something that we had to decide short term and at the last minute, and the contractors were willing to stick around for an extra day. And that B214 was only going to be around for 2 days at a salmon arm. So the timing worked out for us to be able to do it. It did work out that through our conversations with High Terrain, that in fact they had some issues with their machine. And so that worked out for us, and we are not being charged by High Terrain for the cost of them coming up and being there and trying to lift it. And they did do a couple loads for us, so that was good that we were able to solve that. But that was just another little tweak that happened at the last minute. We had to kind of make a quick decision on. So that was, otherwise it likely would have been into next spring or summer that we would have been replacing that. And I know the turmoil that would have been for everybody in the community, and something that we didn't want to see. So that was just another little thing that we had to run into at the last minute. But I haven't been to see it, but all the pictures and everything else, it looks like it's been a great success. So I want to congratulate the contractors and everybody here, and certainly the directors for all their support.
Thank you, Gary. The Chair Hastings. Go ahead, Mike.
Carrie and Jeff, thank you for your efforts on the work on the trail. It's when you do it, when you ride it or walk it in its entirety, you realize the amount of work that's gone on there in the last couple of years. It's just amazing. It's looking good.
Thanks,
I just have a question for both of you, and that is, have you had any word from Ministry of Forests on what they're going to be doing in the hopefully near future, on the Idaho Peak access?
Yeah, through the chair, I actually had a little note for myself last week to try to call in before this meeting and figure that out. But that kind of got lost in the shuffle with everything else sitting on my desk at this point. So that didn't get done on my part. But what I will do is try to check in again. And if I do find something out, I will put it out to everybody on the email list for the commission.
Thank you, Kerry.
Yeah, Chair Hastings, Casey Law had a question. I know you can't see the screen here that we have here on the phone or whatever, but Commissioner Law had a question. Or no, he's waving off. He doesn't have one. Okay, thank you.
It was the applause emoticon I was putting up just at the end of Kerry's update on the work that was done all around. Sorry about that.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Chair Hastings, go ahead.
That's quite all right, Walter. No, I also appreciate all the work that's been done on this trail. I hope it lasts longer than the railway lasted. I'm sure it will. I know that there's been a lot of things come up that were unexpected, but that's the nature of our sliding environment. Okay, if there's nothing more about the trail, then let's move on to new business. And that's about
through the chair, Richard.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add my appreciation and gratitude to Kerry and Jeff, and also to Walter for the support in dealing with all of these issues on the trail. Really appreciated.
All right. Thank you, Richard. We are very lucky to have this trail here.
Mm-hmm.
Any more comments about that?
Yeah, Director Popoff here. I'd like to make a comment since everybody is saying great job or whatever. And the comment is we've got two valuable employees, Jeff Phillips and Kerry Gaynor, and they're right up on everything, not only in our area, but throughout the whole regional district. And I'm grateful that we have both of you as our employees. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say we also have the best crew in the RDCK. Our staff, as far as I'm concerned, are second to none. We have very, very high quality, hardworking staff. So yeah, we couldn't do it without them, Kerry and I.
Thank you. It sounds like hugs all around.
Yeah. I try to say as much as possible. I got to plug it as much as possible. It's very grateful.
All right.
Excuse me, just as Richard here again, just also include thanks to the work of the crew on the local crew on the trail all year as well.
Okay, let's move on to the proposed meeting dates then for next year. You see the dates there on the agenda. Do we need a motion to confirm these dates, Walter?
Yes, we sure do. Unless somebody's got any concerns about the dates that are there, I obviously don't. We haven't set our agenda yet for the regional district stuff. That'll be out to us in January, and if we have to make any adjustments or whatever, we'll make the adjustments at that time. But currently, those dates look good to me, so I don't know if anybody else has got any objections.
Any objections? None here for Chair Hastings. It looks good to me. If good with everybody, we can just let it go at that.
So we need a motion to adopt those dates or whatever.
Okay.
Since the directors cannot make motions, it'll have to be one of the commissioners that makes that motion.
Okay.
Commissioner Kipke moves to adopt those meeting dates.
Thank you, Scott. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second Richard Allen here.
Thank you, Richard. Any objections? Do I hear? Hearing no objections, I'll count that motion passed. Public time. The chair can. Any questions from any public there?
Hank, before we go to public time, I actually have a question. I should have raised this at the beginning when we adopted the agenda. I'm wondering where we are at in budget for 2026.
That's a good question.
Yep. I can answer that through the chair. So this will be coming, obviously, I think we have the shared service new kind of thing a little bit coming up there, and I can't remember the date, but we're working hard on budgets now. We still haven't, but for this particular service, and particularly Rosebery, the Parklands, the trail, Bigelow Bay, we are sort of just on operations. We have no real new capital works happening. I think we've exhausted a lot of the capital works that we could in the area for a little bit. So yeah, anything that we still had, I know the around the washroom, like Jeff mentioned, there's still some landscaping to do and things like that around that in the Parklands. But a lot of what we will be doing is just kind of the maintenance and anything that happens in the spring. So there's always something that comes up on the trail in the spring. So, that will mostly be taken care of, through staff. So we don't have any projects. It's going to be somewhat of a bare minimum year in terms of bigger projects, and try to certainly keep our budgets, under requisition that we had last year if possible, and those sort of things. So we're working on them currently. Hopefully we'll be done S203 by the end of next week at the latest, possibly by Wednesday if I can. So that's kind of where we're at. But again, it's this service, we're just trying to kind of keep it to kind of that maintenance and operation stuff that we've been doing without any sort of increases in capital or any major projects.
Okay, great. Thank you. And so you mentioned we would get to see the first draft of that at the shared services meeting, which is upcoming soon. I don't recall the date off the top.
Yeah, I believe that was the intent. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks
So,
for
Sorry for that interruption.
Yeah, Chair Hastings, I have a comment, if I may, to Director Main. And my comment is, do you not receive the quarterly financial report sent by our finance department on all the services that we're part of?
Yes, I do. But I'm asking about the budget process towards 2026.
Okay, because the financial report brings us up to date to what the expenditures are and how much percent was spent, etc. And I review that religiously every time I get that report. But I thank you for your question. And I guess the answer is at our community services, Spokane Valley Services Committee meeting, hopefully we'll get something there, but that'll depend on Manager Sherko if he's got the reports prepared for us or not.
Okay. Thanks, Walter.
Yeah, thank you for that. Any other comments for anyone?
Yeah, Commissioner Allen. So Walter, heard you make reference to the new committee that's been formed. I think was part of the structure that you talked about over our last couple of meetings, and so just wondering about the schedule for I guess the dissolution of this commission and the replacement with the local advisory committee. I'm not sure if I have the name right there.
Yeah, yes, you do. And if I can respond to that, is General Manager Sherko has been spearheading this, and I fully expected it to see at Rec 6 and at this commission meeting. Unfortunately, he was away for about a month on holidays. Just got back, and I'm going to have a conversation with him hopefully tomorrow to see what stage we are, how we're going to move forward on it, or if he has any plans in moving forward. At this point, I have no information whatsoever on this. I fully expected it to be moved forward at the Rec 6 meeting and at this meeting, but obviously it's not moving forward. And for public, I don't know if you can see Chair Hastings, we do have a public observer here online.
Oh, okay. So just can we hear from the public that is here? Is online? But they're just online. They're not on a phone, I guess. Are there any questions from any of the public at this time? Hello?
Yeah, I don't think so. To the chair.
All right. All right. Well, then the next meeting was scheduled for March 5th next year at 7 o'clock. Is there, and hearing anything else, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll move. Alan here.
And do I hear a second to adjourn at this time?
Mike Cullen, I'll second.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Any objections to that? Do I hear any objections? Hearing none, I will call the meeting adjourned. And that's it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for sharing.
Everyone.
Good night.
Yeah, thanks and good night.
Thank you to all.
Yes. And good.